Nations, and we are here today with Pyogenesis. So how are you today?
Fine.
Fine?
Yeah.
Everything's going fine so far?
I arrived this morning from Hamburg.
So
6 o'clock in the morning was the plane, so...
So we're here today to talk about the last album of Pyogenesis, sorry. So just to go back a little bit to the story of the band. So after, in 2015 you came back after almost 12 years without any album or anything. Did you expect such a success for a century in the course of time? The
No.
previous album?
No, I didn't. I was actually surprised that the fans and the media welcomed us so warm. So we got really good press, and yeah, you know, after such a long time, you don't know whether the people will like or remember the band anymore. And yeah, it's been great. It feels good. Feels good.
So did this success put you some pressure for the last album?
No.
Or it was the same, you were just...
You know, music is my hobby.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, we make some money with the band, but it's my passion, and I love what I do. And if I would have been writing the comeback album, A Century in the Curse of Time, for the purpose that people like it, I would have done a completely different approach. Because it's, you know, the record is not a typical metal album.
Yeah.
And I just did what I felt like and what I like, and so it's and I did the same with the new record, and didn't let any pressure touch me.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of working. So this second, we'll say, A Kingdom to Disappear, it's part of a trilogy that began with A Century in the Course of Time. Can you tell us a bit more about this new chapter of the trilogy?
Yeah, like the first, like the whole trilogy deals about the change of the society in the 19th century. Like with, you know, steam machine, trains, literature, like the first horror stories were written, the first approaches to science fiction, like a French guy, Jules Verne.
I was
probably
going to tell you the artwork of the album makes me think about Jules Verne.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's, to me, it's the most interesting century, the 19th century. Before the 19th century, it was a completely different world, and after as well. And the 19th century is the link, the connection. Today, now we have computers and smartphones and internet, and it's not about finding new categories like it was in the 19th century when the steam machine changed everything.
Yeah.
Today it's just about faster, more storage, you know, terabyte, gigabyte, more, faster, and this is it. It's just it's a road, and it's leading towards. And it's not that there's something new that changes. Of course, computers changed things, but this is a result. Technology today is a result of mechanism. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. But do the people that watch us understand as well?
Also. Yeah.
And you know, the steam machine changed so many things. You were able to move something that's heavy with just one or two persons, where you needed thousands before.
Yeah.
And or the clock. When the factories came up, you know, it was important that everyone is there in time.
Yeah.
Because when the machine starts in the factory, everyone has to be there to work. Mm-hmm. And before that, people were farmers. They just got up when the sun
goes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And stop when there's no more light.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Exactly. And you know, for instance, France and Germany were in war against each other in 1870.
Yeah.
And the Germans won not because we had the better troops or more troops, more soldiers. It's because we had a good train system, you know?
Yeah.
And we could move our troops very fast from one point to another.
Yeah.
So you see, for the first time, it was not about who's got the most power in people. It was about who's got the most power in technology.
Technology, yeah. Yeah.
And this, you know, with this, everything started up today with computers and smartphones and internet.
Yeah.
And I think that's very interesting. And I'm into history, especially in European history, because you know all our countries and nations are. If you look back, it's one big thing.
Yeah, everything is related.
Yeah.
From one country to the other. Yeah, yeah. It was a great century. It was when everything happened. 19th century, Discovery Center.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me like that. So, to talk about some of the songs of the album. Some in special. For example, there's one song that's quite different from the others that lasts 13 minutes. That's Everlasting Pain. So can you tell us a little bit more about this song that's particularly different from the others?
There was a French emperor, Napoleon III.
Yeah.
He encouraged the brother of the Austrian emperor Maximilian to become the emperor in Mexico.
Yeah.
And Maximilian and his wife, Charlotte from Belgium, said, yeah, we're interested, but we need to know if the people in Mexico really want us to be their emperor, because it's, you know, it's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And Napoleon, he faked the answer and said, yes, they are looking forward you to be the emperor. And but it wasn't like that. And then they went there, and there were riots, and they didn't want him. And Charlotte, his wife, came back to Europe to ask at the European royal families for help. But no one helped. So her husband, Maximilian, was shot in Mexico, and she couldn't handle the pain, and she got crazy about it and lived a strange life until her death.
Okay, that's... I understand the title, Everlasting Pain.
Yeah.
And even the music, it's quite historical, I would say, the way it sounds, the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tells a story, even if
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And
that's something we try, you know. We don't just write songs and put some lyrics on it. We try to follow the topic of the song and the way the lyrics go with the music, you know, with tension and release and a final and a certain way to write songs.
And to talk to another song that's quite different from the others also, because it's more or less acoustic, but that's your new Helvetia. So you are talking about Switzerland or something. Helvetia is Switzerland, so...
Yeah, Helvetia is the Latin word for Switzerland.
Yeah.
And a German guy who lived in Switzerland. He moved to America and went to the West Coast, which was Mexican back then, nowadays known as California. And he made, there was no Wild West, there was no civilization, nothing. He brought everything there, he borrowed the land from Mexico, then it was sold to the US, and he was the richest man in the world because he had farms there and fields and made a lot of money with all this work.
Yeah.
And then one day someone found gold on his land. That was in 1848, and he overnight he couldn't handle to keep it secret, and overnight people were rushing from all over the world to this place and to search for gold, and even the people who worked on his farms, he had those who had to take care about the cows and the fields, and everything was trampled. The cows died because no one took care. They just left.
And gold.
Yeah, and hundred thousands of people came there with the gold rush, and from one night to another, being the richest man in the world, he lost it all.
Yeah.
And he called his land New Helvetia. And that's many people don't know, even those who live in California don't know about this.
This story.
Yeah. But I think it's very interesting because
quite ironic also, because he's the richest man and he becomes the poorest, would say, because they found gold in his land. So
on his land.
It's quite ironic.
Yeah.
So what would think the opposite? He's rich, they found gold, he's richer. No.
Yeah, you see, he owned the land. It was his right to explore his land. But what can you do if no one protects you and supports you in this? If everyone leaves your side to become rich on his own.
Yeah, and you stay alone. Yeah, nothing to do. Can fight. So, talking about the band, you have just finished the German tour, if I'm right. So, how did it was? Because it just has been 1 month since the album came
this
out.
month.
Yeah,
it
will be 1 month now, more or less.
Yeah.
So, how did it was?
Yeah.
The tour?
The tour was great so far. We finished the German dates, and I'm 2 days in Paris now, and on Thursday I will fly to Switzerland, and then we play. We'll play Switzerland, Italy, Austria. We will have a show on Full Metal Mountain, which is a ski resort, only metal bands, only metal fans. And after that we will play Full Metal Cruise, which is a ship, only metal bands and metal fans. So, I mean, we finished the German leg of the tour, but to me it's in the middle of the tour because there's more dates to come. Yeah.
So, talking about more to come, so you will be starting the second part of the tour, we'll say, in the rest of Europe. And what about France? Do you plan to come to France maybe later in the fall or winter?
Yeah, we're working on a show early next year.
Early next
in
year.
Paris.
Okay. It will be a long time.
Yeah. We're an old band.
Okay. So, well, thank you very much for all your time and your super explanations about the songs, because it's
thank you.
Yeah, it's just great. I'm learning history.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and best of the luck with the tour and the album also.
Yeah, I can say something in French.
You can.
Je suis Flo. Je ne parle pas français, mais je mémorisais cette phrase pour commencer. Merci pour toi, vos attention. Is it correct?
It's great, yeah.
Hey, I'm Flo from Pyogenesis, and you're watching United Rock Nations.